All right, this is a scenario that occurred. I have an order here for $3.06 with a stop of $3.02. However, it appears the stop order never filled and the stock is now at $2.50. How did this happen? What can I do to ensure my small orders are filled? So I just want to add a little color to this.
Yes,
For
please.
this particular user, what happened was that they were sending a stop limit order,
Hmm.
and the stop and the limit order were the exact same price.
Okay.
And so when the price was hit, by the time I was trying to fill the limit order, the price was already beyond what where they would have been filled. So the recommendation to them was to, hey, set your stop a little bit before where you expect the limit price to be, so that you have a better chance of being filled.
Yeah. So this is a slippage issue, or really an execution failure issue. I've had this happen many times in the past in many different markets, and it's oftentimes why some traders choose to use stop market orders so that they can guarantee they'll get an exit. Because there's nothing more frustrating than expecting a limit order to execute, but price falls fast enough that you never get a fill, and then you're just stuck there with that limit order that never gets filled. If that is indeed the case here, that is a known quantity, especially in systematic strategies where you will want to stay on top of that. And if there's sort of two different scenarios to deal with here. If it's a thin market with a lot of or a very low amount of liquidity, you don't necessarily want a market order because you could end up getting a really, really bad execution, right? Where you lose all your profit on the trade. So with in some instances, you may want to split your size up over multiple limit orders, and you'll have to exit the order manually. But this kind of like fits squarely into that category of this is why things are never truly fully automated. You do need to keep an eye on orders because sometimes these types of events will take place.
I've never really understood why anyone uses a stop limit order with the same price for both. Like, just a limit order satisfies that sort of idea. Like, I only ever use a stop limit order when I'm trying to get a pullback trade. So I go, okay, I'm waiting for the price to move up. I'll be on a certain level, and that's the stop. And then the limit is, hey, it might be VWAP, it might be some moving average lower down. That's where I want it to be filled at. So I just don't understand the scenario where you need a stop limit order and both of them are the same price. It seems like a mistake to me.
Well, I mean, it depends on your execution requirements, but like you may want to stop limit order with an additional price because you actually want to sell into the ask side, right? So you could decide that you want to put the limit order below the trigger price, but you can also put it above the trigger price. You probably shouldn't do that, but you can. It just depends on how you want to exit that position. In some cases, people want that ability to choose. If you choose a limit order, though, uh, the depending on the scenario here, you may still need to choose that stop order type with the broker, because choosing just a limit order by itself would have to be above the market price, not below the market price.
That's right. Okay, perfect. Yeah. John suggested here that perhaps that user just selected the wrong order type, and that can occur. I had a nice conversation with a client the other day. He could not understand the difference between a stop limit order, a stop order, and a limit order. And I think the word stop there is the thing that that trips a lot of people up. They don't necessarily understand what that means. I thought it was pretty funny. Took about 15 minutes, and he's like, okay, well, I trust that you understand what you're talking about. I was like,
Oh
buddy, if
no!
we're having a problem here at the stop limit order type,
Wait a minute.
maybe you
No,
should
you should
pause.
understand, not just me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Peter says, I know I don't know what those terms are when it comes to the stop losses, stop limits, the whole thing. I'll have to teach
Yeah,
him.
I think that is a good content idea, though, to cover all the different order types, particularly around how TradersPost actually handles them. Because there's a lot of questions we've been getting lately about algorithmic orders, like what happens after my order gets executed if the broker doesn't offer bracket trades, for example. We don't currently have the functionality to put those bracket trades in place for them, and those would be referred to as algorithmic orders. So we have a lot to cover on that subject, I think.